Hi there. Today we're going to be working on a book that is rated the 19th most influential book of all time by Time magazine. Now, how exciting is that? This talk happens in two parts, and today we're going to just be focusing on part one, how to win friends. The second part is the in order to influence people, and we'll get to that, but today we're going to be working with that. And doing this is an amazing thing. It's how to be more likable in businesses is a complete unfair advantage. Your delivery day for this talk is that when you're presenting, you need to try and use people's names as much as possible throughout the entire presentation. Okay, so any of the questions, discussions, or any of those moments, try use people's names. I'm going to come up with some fake names, but use the people in your office. All right, enjoy the talk. All things being equal, people do business with people that they like. Now, do you guys agree with that? Steve, you? Right? John? Okay. Sandra as well? Right. So we all agree with this. Well, I don't agree. Let me tell you why. All things not being equal, people still do business with people they like. Think about this. You go to a restaurant that's slightly more expensive than the restaurants around you, but you love going there, right? The ambiance is great and the people who service you are fantastic. Now, I mean, there might be another restaurant that maybe makes a slightly better steak at a cheaper cost, but it's just so nice being with all of those people that you know and like. And we will always give concession to that. So I was thinking about this, and if that's true, then shouldn't that always be our first order of business? Working with people we like? And sometimes we just don't get it right. So let's discuss this today. Has anyone here, have you ever walked away from an interaction feeling like they didn't quite like you? Right? Steve, yourself? Okay, John, you? Okay, so it has happened, right? So I want to talk to you guys today about Dale Carnegie. Now, this guy was an incredible man. And he'd done some amazing things. Like, he failed his bachelor's degree in Latin, and his career was an amazing thing. But he started writing a book after working at the YMCA. And in the book, he says, any fool can criticize, complain, and condemn. And most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. Which leads us to the book. In the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie talks about all of this detail. And the core concept is that the People's Bible. This should be your holy book on all things relating to interactions, right? It's an incredibly famous book. It's currently 86 years old, and the book had to be reprinted 17 times in the first few months because people wanted it so much. He sold over 5 million copies by the time he died at the age of 66, and it was rated the 19th most influential book of all time by Time magazine. Now, the book outlines a bit of a game plan to these interactions that we have with our customers, our clients. So the approach then is how to approach, how to engage, and how to continue. So let's go through them one by one. The first one, approach, right? The first point is approach. And the core thing here to remember is remember their name. This is a super crucial point. People clearly care about their names, and it's something deeply emotional to them. I mean, people have names across all languages across the planet. And that's why we name streets and buildings after people. So it's deeply emotional to them. So Dale Carnegie wanted to merge with a car company called Pullman. And when Carnegie mentioned that the new company would still be called Pullman, the company owner it was also Pullman, was way more eager to complete the transaction because his name would stay on it. And this is what his building would be remembered as. So, by forgetting a person's name, all you're really telling them is that your name is important and theirs isn't, when actually the flip is correct. Your name's not so important, but theirs is. But what you're really saying to them is that you didn't really care. You didn't care enough to remember it. And Dale Carnegie, he said this. He said, names are the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And these names are universal. So one thing you can start doing when talking to people and when people greet you with their name is that after they've introduced themselves to you, say their name in the greeting back. and then you're way more likely to remember it. Okay. The second point of this is we need to appeal to other people's interests. We do that by, you guessed it, engaging with them. We need to. So, of course, you're interested in what you want, but it's not always about you and what you want. We need to think about it this way. When you go fishing, you put what the fish likes into the water at the end of your hook. So, what we can't do is we need to make sure that we don't fish with cheesecake. You'll never catch a fish fishing with cheesecake. I mean, you might catch something, but it's probably not what you want to catch. We must appeal to their interests. Let's face it, everyone loves to talk about themselves. So what sounds better to you in this scenario, right? Let's say your landlord is increasing the price on your rental and it's something that you really can't afford. Which one of these two scenarios do you think goes down better with the landlord? Number one, you flip out, you tell him exactly where he can go jump off a bridge, and you tell him that this is ridiculous and you're not paying it, and you storm out. Or you say, thank you, we've had such great service here, and thanks for letting me know that the price is going up. It's been an absolute pleasure living here, but it's such a shame, but I can no longer afford the rent. Now, as the landlord, which one do you think would come across a little bit better? The latter, right? It sounds more like of a loss for them than for you. And if you talk to someone about themselves, they'll listen for hours. Which brings us to the third and final point. We need to continue to listen to people. But not just listen, we need to truly listen to people. When we truly listen to people, we're not chambering a response. We don't have one loaded already. When we're chatting to people, we often start building our argument or our response before the person's even finished speaking. And if that's happening, you're not truly listening because you're so focused on what you're trying to say next. So what we need to do is, the second thing, stop. Stop interrupting. As other people are speaking, we need to stop interrupting them. Now, here's a little bit of an analogy for this one. When people are talking, the liquid inside this bottle contains all of that conversation. Now, the more they talk, the more they empty this bottle because they have your attention. And the more attention you pay to them, the more the conversation will be poured out of that bottle. But if you interrupt them, then they refill the bottle. So we have to let them finish their bottle of content first before they are prepared to start listening to your content. So make sure that you let them empty their content first with your attention intact. And in the book, Dale Carnegie speaks of a time when he was speaking to a botanist. Now, he had not a single idea about botany. So in the beginning of the conversation, he asked a few questions and then just sat back and listened. At the end of the conversation, the botanist said, "Wow, you are an amazing conversationalist." And ironically, after the initial questions, he had not spoken a single word. So, to be interesting, you have to be interested. So we need to stop chambering our answers and actually stop interrupting them. This way, we will be interesting by being interested. So now that we know all the points, how do we turn this into everyday actions? Well, luckily for you, I have an action plan. We need to remember to be interested by listening to other people. Remembering their name is powerful. It gives them a sense of feeling that you know and respect that person. You show interest by engaging in their story and what they're talking about. And by listening to what they say without formulating a response, you become a great conversationalist. So can you see a situation where we can use these tools with our teams and our clients today? Right? John, can you see a situation? Fantastic, it's a great example. Beautiful. So the challenge that I give for you for this week is 3 simple tasks. All right? I want you to memorize somebody's names, find out what they're interested in, and intently listen to them. It can be a customer, an internal person, someone who's delivered something to our office. We just need to memorize someone's name, find out what they're interested in, and listen to them intently. Now, Ralph Waldo Emerson said this: "Every person I meet is my superior in some way. In that, I learn from them." So this is what I want to challenge you guys today. Learn from the people that we speak to on a daily basis by engaging with them. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next talk.